The wonderful, wonderful tour of the CFL preseason, off-season is continuing here as Rick Boccaccio, Hamilton Sports Central on YouTube, is with us as we've
Let's
done the
go.
Argonauts, we've done the Alouettes, now it's the Ticats. Look, I could ask you about the playoffs. We've gone over it. It's a broken record. He's in the new Whit McManus jersey. But more
Yep.
than anything else, we got something to talk about, to which involves some certain rules. As today it was announced that week 0 college football is coming north of the border with the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Yes, look it up. Are taking on the Syracuse Orange at BMO Field, I believe August 28th or 29th, 2027. And look, I know people are still upset about the rules, but I think this is basically college sports and the NCAA taking and the Atlantic Coast Conference taking advantage of, hey, there we can now use their fields and not have to worry about, well, not damaging it, but like, hey, the measurements are there. We don't have to screw up any measurements, because if you do this then to where you make it so it was CFL field into an NCAA field, I think people would be like, huh. But now it's just like, yep, you know what? It is what it is. It's there, and it's a great money generator. And plus, too, for people who want to watch obscure college football like myself, it's a perfect avenue of sport.
Yeah, I just the way that as soon as I heard about the field rules in 2007, 27, 28, I'm just like, or 26, 27, I'm like, it's out of my control. I can't control what the league wants to do. I
Yeah.
just support my team and I do what I can.
Yeah, and even like I know you would message me about certain people upset over season ticket prices coming into effect for this year, where basically I know at BMO Field it used to be 123 was the club seats, like those are like the padded nice seats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I know mutual friend of the show Nick Small got these really, I think last year he had a really awesome like suite opportunity or something in that similar area, but they basically made it now to, I think, where it's that entire side of the field is they call it more premium seating, because it's, hey,
Hmm.
you're basically behind the Argonauts bench. It's no longer, oh, just your bench side. No, you're completely behind the Argonauts bench. So I
And
feel like
don't forget,
you'll probably
I
see
was
that
gonna
around the
say,
league.
don't forget the opposite side. All those people that had all those comfy seats, the front row, don't have those either because that's now behind the away bench.
Those seats, I feel like there's only a handful of people ever in those seats. I don't think there's too many of those people,
No,
but
no, no. I know someone that's in those seats, and he said that they got rid of them
oh
because they have to move the benches back, right?
yeah, because you have to have the benches, you have to have the sideline. I still feel like, though, from a camera perspective, it's going to be the same. I feel like Tim
You'll
Hortons,
see more away
Hamilton's,
fans over on
yeah.
that side.
Although I feel like it's going to be interesting for a Hamilton perspective on the new setup with the benches, because I believe the Argonauts are going to be the side opposite the press area, kind of like the east. Like, I think it's, yeah, they'll be on the east side of the field, and Hamilton will be on the west. So basically, when a visiting team is in Hamilton, they have to cross the field to get to their locker room, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So they get the business coming on and off the field, but then Hamilton, it's kind of like, it's business as usual. Just you come down the middle tunnel for the beginning of the game, and then you have the one off to the side, the one in the corner for general stuff, which I think is section 101, if I
That's my
remember correctly.
section.
Oh, great. Yes.
Nothing's changed.
No. No. But going into Hamilton, though, because when I've looked so far around the East, like the league in general, when you
Yes.
look at the Ticats, I think the big focus going into this year was just, how do we add defensively? How do you shape it up? Because the defense, like the offense last year, I feel like it was very, not stagnant, but it was very Bo reliant, to where if Bo can't carry the team on his back, the whole team was in trouble. But I feel like they're trying to shore up that defense now, to where it's, hey, the defense can win us games. The defense is a
Yeah.
unit that when the fans see it on the field, it can be trustworthy.
Hmm.
And another point to this season, and I'm not trying to say this in a bad way, because obviously it's not, and it's just terrible what happened, just the events surrounding Ted Gavaya over the last year, from getting his dream job to now he's no longer. It's been almost a full year since he's been no longer with us. But I feel like that last year, I don't know if it loomed large for the organization, but I feel like it was definitely a hovering effect of just, him being sick, to then it turned to quickly, like, he's not doing well, to where it months turned into weeks, which turned into days, which turned into
Days, and then
hours,
it's like, yeah,
and then he was gone. So I feel like, because I remember talking to some people like when they were in Toronto, and they said that the organization moved quickly. Because I was always wondering, I'm like, how do you take this over? But it feels like Orlando Steinauer is the one in charge of Hamilton.
So
But
basically, what Orlando Steinhauer did is he basically
he was director of more play. His more title was director of player personnel, if I'm not mistaken, right?
he's still like kind of like everything goes through him,
Yeah.
but everyone in like the front office has more responsibilities.
Okay, so it's more just like a team effort of like
Yeah,
signing
it's
in
more. What's the wording for it? It's more of
a cohesive bond.
no. I was gonna say like more of like a committee
Okay.
type thing than it is just two or three people.
Okay. I got you. And like I was just wanting to reference to. I wasn't saying anything bad about the Ted situation, but like that's
No, no,
something that
no.
definitely hung over the team throughout the 2025 season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just because, like like I was saying, dream job from a kid from a man from Burlington, Ontario, to then he works his ass off to become a general manager of a CFL team, and it's in his basically his hometown team. To like I said there, to where now when you flip the page to 2026, adding Winter McManus among other additions with Trey Ford and all this other stuff, where do you feel like not only yourself but the rest of just what Cat fans are thinking about this team heading into 2026?
So I'll start with offense first.
Yeah.
So depending on who you speak to, some fans have a strong opinion about losing Tim White. Some don't. So it all depends on who you speak to. With me, I find now that you have Wheatfall, you have I was even surprised we got Curly. I was kind of hoping that we'd get him, but we ended up getting him. So between those two, it
Yep.
will add not what Tim White had, but more of like in that direction. Keandre Smith stepped up last year, so it's kind of like between the three of them. You'll see Samar Bridges get more action this year.
Tyler Chernowski.
Tyler Chernowski, he'll be a Canadian. He'll get like a few reps. Like he was always that one where like he'll always get like the odd play. Like he'll probably get like the 3, 4, 500 yards type thing. My interesting thing is what they're going to do with running back, because with Greg Bell gone, now it's okay. We have Johnny Augustine, but then Greg Bell only had a year and a half of experience.
Yeah.
Because you took half that year of James Butler and then the full year. So really, you could say anyone's replaceable after a year and a half. And then you take what Woodmansey, his 300,000 Edmonton. Then you have Bordner, he's gone. You got Trevor Reed back, that was down in the NFL. I've heard great things about him. You have, Eric Lofton. Okay, he's up there in age, so he's getting around. And then you go to the defensive side. Casey Sales is gone, so now you got to get someone to step in for him. Verisek's gone, so you got to get someone for Verisek. So you got Winton McManus. And then now you got to fill out the two corner and halfback on the... I always get the two of them mixed up. On this side, it's field side, no? On the right side? If you're looking at the field like this, it's this side. I think it's field side?
I believe so.
Or boundary. Anyways, on this side of Stavros, you had Moxie and Amos. You got to replace them.
You still have Peters.
Yeah, Peters and Talbot are on this side.
Yeah.
You got to replace the two on this side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Talbot was like not... He took a few years to come in. So, I think we'll be okay. It's just a matter of, getting the cohesance together once again on the same page.
Yeah, which, look, I'm looking up the schedule right now. Only 3 games in the month of June, and 2 of the 3 are on Thursdays as well, which versus Montreal, at Winnipeg, and then versus BC. So
the funny thing is that you bring up the schedule is the last 4 games of the season, it goes Ottawa, Edmonton, Edmonton, Ottawa.
Yeah, I see right. Edmonton, Ottawa, Edmonton, Ottawa. That is very, and it's weird. It's road, home, home. Although there is a bye week sandwiched in there.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that those two teams will end up in the basement, but I mean, let's just say for discussion's sake, they were. Like, how easy of, like, end of the season
You guys
is
don't play
something like
Ottawa
that?
until October. What the heck?
Yeah.
That is weird. It's like Toronto and Montreal. Like I was because on my last show, we did the Montreal side of things. Toronto plays Montreal week 2, and then they don't play again until week 21. Schedule's very
True.
quirky that way this year.
And then look at next year. Next year, they have everything moving up. Draft next year is going to be a hit and miss draft now because now you got to draft before the NFL draft. Now you don't know who's going to be the UFAs, unsigned UFAs. Then you got to take a risk on them. Then camp starting early. And it's
The big thing with camp starting early, and I've heard this before with 3 down is, so for example, we know Hamilton uses McMaster, I believe, for their training camp.
Yeah.
Toronto,
Golf.
Guelph. When April, we're a couple smart guys. What's still going on in April?
University.
Who's still living where the players would be living?
The students.
Exactly. So is Mr. Caretaker going to have a bunch of sleeping bags and tents set up in his backyard, and his pinball Clemens going to be doing the same thing? Like, because that is a very serious point with the schedule moving up, though. And I know everyone's saying the draft, but like training camp, where in the world are you going to put close to 100 bodies, not just football, but like, coaches, team staff, just overall, like, like equipment, training, shout out media for people like Chris and Courtney who do it for Toronto and Hamilton. That's a big thing that I think is being overshadowed with this whole schedule stuff too, is the fact that, like, hey, where in the heck are you going to put these people? Because where they would be living, because I know for Toronto too, they use a lot of, it's not the dorms, but it's like it's like on-campus housing that they use. So it's like houses that are owned by the university, but there's still people living in them. So are they going to have to like kick the students out early? Is Toronto going to have to find somewhere else to go? Because if you want to take up an entire hotel in like Hamilton or Guelph, who's fronting the bill for that? I think that's another big portion to camp that's doing that. And on top of that, now do you basically have, like, there is a Delta hotel just down the street from U of Guelph, but at the same time too, the players basically would have to leave the actual campus to get back to the hotel. So there's a lot of that's a parallel to the schedule I don't think people are paying enough attention to, but obviously with the moving up of the schedule, I like it for the fact that it's centered around the holiday instead of, because people are like, oh, it starts here. It's like, no, it starts the first weekend in June. I feel like if they had moved it up a week, just the last week of May, first weekend in June, you can do it kind of like, say if it's like May 31st, June 1st, when the dates fall, right? You could do that to where it's like, hey, summer's here, football's here. And then you add, I like the fact though that they add that they moved it up to where you end in November so that you don't get a blistering, you make it a cold Grey Cup, but you're not going to get that, like, you may save yourself from like
30.
Yeah. Which this
but
year
it just like, it's funny because when you mention the whole thing about the universities, so May 17th, Toronto's having their blue and white game.
Yes.
Hamilton has their black and gold scrimmage game. The day before, or the day of, Hamilton has a walkthrough. Then you have to quickly pack everything up, go from Mac to the stadium, have the black and gold game, and then turn around, pack up the truck, and bring it back to the university for the next day.
So they don't do the black and gold game at the university?
So they did do the black and gold game at the university, but then they started last year, I believe, to start having it at the actual Tim Hortons Field. Hamilton Stadium, sorry. It's always going to be...
It's all the same thing.
Yeah. We just haven't gotten a sponsor yet.
It'll be Porter Field before we know it, or like Porter Stadium or whatever. Because I'll be here to say this. As soon as that team latched Porter Airlines onto their sponsorship, that's when everything kind of took off, no pun intended.
Well, and plus, don't forget, Stelco, since Stelco sold their company to an American company, it's no longer Stelco End Zone anymore. They named it Porter something, and there's like a roof, and then you can get like unlimited food and everything, but you got to pay like $195 a game to go over there. It's kind of like what Toronto's doing in their end zone type thing, but it's Hamilton's doing it in their end zone.
Is this the north end zone, but closer
Where the
to?
big scoreboard is, just
Okay,
below where those yellow seats, where the band plays when the band comes.
gotcha. I know the one you're talking about.
But
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
I
I'm
know.
so glad to have training camp starting on Sunday. I'm going all next week to start to see the players.
Yeah, that's the thing because like I know rookie camp's going on right now, but I did
Yeah,
notice through
till
rookie.
Saturday. Saturday night's the final cuts for that.
Yeah, which
Saturday, Sunday morning, whenever you decide to announce them.
I did notice with rookie camp though that Trey Ford was in uniform there.
So the thing is, with all all CFL teams, all quarterbacks attend rookie camp.
Oh, okay.
Even Zach Claris is attending Winnipeg. I'm assuming Chad Kelly's attending Toronto. But yeah, all quarterbacks attend rookie camp.
I did notice the main like I know I think Daggy and Horn were there. I know Duggan was there. I haven't been able to attend rookie camp because I said this publicly before. Like for as much as I love doing my CFL job, I do have a full time job outside of the CFL. It
So
takes
do
up a
I.
ton of time. We all do.
Yeah.
But I do have a day in Guelph next week, so if I can make it down, I might go. But if not, my first time going probably would be the Double Blue scrimmage on the 17th
Yeah,
of
I
May.
just booked all of next week. I took a week of holidays. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to Mac for a week.
True. But just going back to Hamilton though, obviously look, they're a team not hampered by the World Cup, but like when I pulled up the schedule though, I found it interesting because it's I think there's quite a few oh, God, I don't know why I'm so just I'm a little all over the place today. Talking about the Tie Cats from an Argos guy, who gets you going. That there is a bit I was about to say there's a bit of there's the 3 road games in a row, but then I had to remember to myself that July 18th is a home game for the Tie Cats technically.
So I've had this discussion with many Argo fans. Many Argo fans think that it's a Toronto home game because of what the themes were announced the other day. So some think that Toronto's going to have the PA announcer. You know, they're going to have the game day staff there and everything. Yeah. And then the people who I talk to within Toronto tell me otherwise. So like no one knows what's going on. So
I assume you'd have like the A team, maybe like
the way that it was explained to me last year. Now this is last year is Hamilton's PA system, Hamilton's game. I don't know about the game day staff. We have concessions, security, and everything. The only thing that Toronto was getting was the half of the gate revenue. That's how it was explained to me in November. Like, gotcha. You don't even have Adam Goss doing the PA announcing. So I don't know what's going to end up happening. Because you got to remember, if they do that for Hamilton, are they doing that for Saskatchewan? Are they doing that for Winnipeg?
I wouldn't think so, no. I think those ones are more gate revenue driven. To where I know everyone's kind of over on MLC right now for, you know, just some of the stuff they've done and some of the decisions that have been made. I do understand this one from a money perspective, but also to run Guelph, I think just for an overall logistical and a broadcast standpoint, look, I like going to games there. It's a lot closer to where I live, but it's not exactly the most comfortable stadium to cover a game in compared to being at BMO Field and a proper CFL stadium.
Here's my problem with the whole thing is,
yeah,
the people that I've spoken with say Guelph's not good at night because of lighting and everything. Okay, you guys are having a preseason at 7:00 at night in Guelph, so don't be handing me this. Oh, it's not good under light. We did it for a full season in 2013.
Yep.
I can't see why Toronto couldn't do it there because they don't have the capacity, probably.
It's obviously a money driven factor. Like you're going to make more money if you do it in Winnipeg and Regina and Hamilton and getting those proper CFL gates compared to I believe the 5,000 that
But I
Aluminum
mean,
Stadium holds.
if BC can put up temporary seats, I'm sure Guelph can put up temporary seats.
I'm not defending the decision. I'm just
No, no,
saying
no. I'm just
like,
saying it's possible.
oh no, 100% it's possible. I just think MLSE took the easiest. They took the easy way out instead of being like what
Yeah.
BC did and said, hey, we're gonna go to Kelowna. Hey, we're gonna go here, because even the thing that's annoying about it too is the fact that they are basically gonna have Guelph is their temporary home basically from now until the end of July. So for about the next almost 12 weeks, they're.
Yeah.
I don't know how they are. I know a lot of people they aren't the biggest fans of it. Like I know some people buy that last preseason game. They're just like, get me home to my bed. But I do think the fact that Toronto's bye weeks being scheduled right at the beginning of the year and right after before they're supposed to go back to BMO Field. Obviously,
Mhm.
that August long weekend they would usually be on the road anyway because Carabana kind of comes in and takes over Lamport Stadium where they practice in Toronto.
Yeah.
But my big thing with those two bye weeks is that you know what, hey, maybe they get the chance to go home, shake their legs around, get out of Guelph for a week, and then they come back to Guelph to
Mhm.
get ready to prep for Montreal. That's the big thing, the
Yeah.
big way I look at that. Um, but no, when you have everything just going back to Hamilton though, just like with
Mhm.
2026.
Yeah.
So we had started, and I had started this because I'll give you my numbers for this, but I've been doing this game with everybody that's been on with you and people that'll be coming on
Mhm.
for future because I just have one more Eastern team to do, and then I have to go to the West Division. But
Yeah.
For Hamilton going, but like the game I've been playing is just like a 1 to 10 scale. Like hey, what do you think of this team's expectations going into this year? And I'm just going to give you my
Yeah.
number. I can
Mhm.
give you a bit of a brief explanation. Obviously, it's a bit of a repeat for everybody else, but for me, for
Okay.
Hamilton going into
Just before you give me your number, I have a question.
okay,
So, like, are you saying like 1 to 10? Like 10 being like up here and one being down here?
yeah, basically 10 meaning that you expect your team to be in Calgary at the end of the season, and one
Oh, okay,
being
okay,
like that
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
they're
Okay,
terrible.
gotcha. Okay,
Mine for Hamilton is a 7. That's my number right now for Hamilton.
I could see that.
Like I feel like there's a
Like
lot of
when you say 7, is that like East semifinals?
no, it's East final. It's just
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's what I meant to say.
yeah,
East final. Okay.
because I really do think it's between Hamilton and Montreal for that 1-2 spot, and then I do think Toronto or Ottawa is going to be 3 and 4.
You don't have trust in Toronto, eh?
No, and I'm going to go to them. Toronto, my number is a 6 for them, just because there's a side of me with Toronto where it's everything kind of go. I think for them having a good season is I think 10 and 8 is kind of the ceiling for them. Where
Okay, yeah,
if you can, and this has been my motto, if they can stay
yeah,
around that 500 mark or hover around it, just be maybe a game or two under it, fine. You cannot come out to the start that you had last year, where special teams has cost you games. We saw what happened that first Toronto Argonauts game when Hamilton came to town.
yeah.
89 said,
Defensive
"Hey,
break.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna run all over you." You can't
yeah,
have taking your foot off the gas pedal like they did against the Alouettes the second time around. There were so many games last year where offense, defense, and special teams lost some games to where if they do that
yeah.
this year, it's done because there's a new culture, because there's that new identity. My two big things is when you see an offensive mind, an offensive coordinator, or an offensive coach go from that position to now, hey, I got to worry about the defense. Hey, I got to worry about the special teams. I really wonder how is Mike Miller going to handle all that? How is he going to deal with
Yeah.
all that to where I think they could definitely be a playoff contender. They're over under for
Mm-hmm.
total for wins is 7.5 right now. I definitely think they get to at least 8. I'm not confident in Toronto and in saying that hey, they're going to be back to that Grey Cup team. I think they're going to be a better
Yeah.
team. When I look at them right now, I can't confidently say that they're a championship contending team.
For me, I want to see at least 3 to 4 games where Chad Kelly plays the full game
Yeah,
before I can. Because unless he's not playing the full game, then I don't have like I want to see like a nice 3 4 game sample size.
I also want to see with him just how does he handle those road crowds because his first road game is going to be in the exact same stadium where his injury occurred almost 2 years ago. Like, hey, when he gets that first throw off, like, like that first hit, it's hey, I'm okay. Hey, I'm Like, hey, I'm good. Hey, you know what? Hey, this isn't so bad. Kind of like when when someone like, I don't know, like I'll give an example. I've never been a big fan of needles in my life. You always work it off, and then you realize, like, it's like the mental anguish that kind of
Yeah,
eats
yeah, yeah,
inside
yeah.
you, and then you do something,
Hmm.
and you're like, hey, that wasn't so bad. That's what I think
Yeah,
he's got to get over. If he can get over that and handle all this away pressure, especially on a game like July 18th, which is a home game for Toronto, but those Hamilton fans it was just more reason to hate him. Obviously, there are certain
yeah,
people that we won't bring up, but
yeah, yeah.
how does he handle that? How does Chad work on that?
So that was it's good that you brought that up. So here's the reason why I don't think that there'll be much Toronto stuff there. Because if, and I'm nothing towards Adam or anything, Adam's a great guy and whatnot, but if you have Adam doing the PA system and then playing Toronto's touchdown song when they score, you're just gonna have everyone, like, you won't be able to hear a single thing from that tie crowd. Like, you'll be
It's
hearing them boo like no tomorrow.
it if and especially if Toronto were to win that game, it'll just be like an overall like a not a fun scene. It's not.
No,
It just won't be a fun place. But then so let's go back to the whole point of Toronto with like going back to I just want to go back to Hamilton before I touch on Toronto.
yeah, yeah,
With Hamilton, I really think it's similar to Montreal where they are their own worst enemy to where if we can get some games where the defense locks it down and wins it for them, by all means, like
yeah.
Labor Day last year. You know what? Hey, get the stop on Brissett, get him out of bounds before you have the chance
As
to,
as
like,
long I will say, as long as we don't start like we did the previous 2 seasons, 0-2,
yeah,
we will be fine.
win week one or week one or week two, just go from there and see what happens. If you guys can go into July at 2-1, I feel like you'll be okay. If you go into July at 1-2 or 0-3, that's where everyone's gonna that's where the panic's gonna start to set in. That's where it's gonna be like, oh,
I mean,
this isn't going to
if you
plan.
really think about it,
Yeah,
we start Montreal. We're at home Montreal,
at Winnipeg.
at Winnipeg, and then versus BC. That's not the easiest first 3 games.
No, not at all. Although for me with Winnipeg, my expectations are I'll get to my expectations in a little bit. And then for Toronto, I definitely think that they can be a challenge. It's just really like I'm gonna have to see it. It's like we want to see it because last year obviously was 5 wins. Wheels came off the truck. It just wasn't fun.
Yeah,
It was just a mismatch of horrors, and it was a slog to the end to cover that team. Still love the
I'm
Argonauts, but that's
I'm
just how I view it.
I'm
How I viewed
curious
it.
to see. So I asked when I'm not sure if you've ever seen it. I don't know if Toronto does it, but every year Hamilton does a free agent signing day with all their free agents. Fans can go get autographs and everything.
They do
My
not
thing
know.
to Trey Ford when I saw him was, have you ever been a short yardage quarterback? Kind of like what same teams do, where it's like their number one does all the passing, and then their number two becomes like their short yardage person, or like the odd, you know, um, third and 2 from the one, or something like third and goal from the goal line.
Yeah,
He says he's never done it before, and I'm curious to see what type of playbook Scott Milanovich is going to have for Trey Ford. Because with both Trey and Bo signed, I think this is Bo's last type of contract, and then he's done. And then Trey will take over for Bo, is my honest opinion.
yeah. I definitely think there's a lot of people that think that could happen as well. It's really just like that's my thing too with Hamilton is just can they stay healthy? Can the defense, when they need to get a shutdown play, not let that big play happen? You have just the proverbial the CFL's Greek freak and Stavros Katsatonis just out there flying around. You have Jamal Peters, who's really found a great home in Hamilton. He was always someone I really liked. I only dealt with him for a season in Toronto, but he was always nice to me. And now
Mm-hmm.
you have Winton, who's going to provide that voice in the locker room on top of everything else. And I know it's a loss for Toronto, but I feel like there's other guys they've signed that can step up, like a Darius Pickett, like a Ralph Hawley, like a Deshaun Amos.
Yeah.
There's guys to where it can fill the void, but we'll see where it
Mhm.
goes from there. I also always said with Winton, where in his free agency, he was either going to come back to Toronto or go to Hamilton. I don't think there was either
Yeah.
or. He set up shop in the
With
GTA, and I don't think he wanted to move away.
Yeah. And that's it. Like when I spoke to him during that same day too, he even said like it's not that far of a drive to go from where he's living now to Hamilton.
Yeah, like I know where he lives.
But
All like I know where he. I don't know actually know where he lives, but I know the city
yeah,
where he lives.
yeah. But I'm just hoping that we have the same physio I don't want to say physio team, but
Athletic therapy
medical
staff,
team.
athletic
Yeah.
athletic training
Because
staff.
Yeah, athletic training staff. Because last season, Lawler played every game. He did not miss a game. That was his first year where he's played every single game. I think if we have the same athletic training staff, you'll see the same thing with Winton,
Oh, absolutely,
where he'll
absolutely.
play every game.
There was a team I referenced earlier with the Ottawa Red Blacks, and I'm only going to say this not just because I respect Ryan Dinwiddie, but everything else with that organization. They're a 5 with me because for as good as Dinwiddie can be with the team, I just can't say the same thing confidently where he's just going to come in there and they're going to turn it around and be this wow franchise where every year we've been thinking that they're going to turn it around. They don't. I still remember
So
2024, we thought, is this a new leaf for the Red Blacks? How can you look back on this season and be great? You look later a year and that pumpkin, that's the silver coach of
do
Cinderella turned into a
you
pumpkin.
not last year, but the year before? Do you remember when Edmonton went out? It wasn't last year. It was the year before, where they went like splash cash all over the free agents.
Yep.
They spent so much money
They
on the
basically
defense.
they
It never
ransacked the
got them
Argonauts. You,
anywhere.
you can say it. They took the entire Argonauts defense of core. It's fine. They took Jake Serezna. They took there was another
Yeah,
guy.
and
They
it didn't
took
do
Royce
Robbie
Metier,
Smith.
Robbie Smith. That's it. Like they took a shitload of Argonauts. Yes.
Yeah, so I think Ottawa's going to be that this year's version of that Edmonton team from 2 years ago, where it's like they spent all this money.
Yeah.
Like you can spend, I don't care what sport it is, you can spend all the money you want. Guarantee you, unless the players are all on the same page and cohesive, they ain't going to do nothing.
I I just think with Ottawa, it's because if Drew Brown magically turns into an MOP candidate, we know that is because of Ryan Dinwiddie. But
Yeah.
if but I think until and we know this with RD, he's a guy that and this happens in the workplace all the time. If he likes you, he is going to use you and he's going to get you to your full advantages. But if he doesn't like you, kind of like what we saw with Cameron Dukes is very much held back. And I also think that's a big portion why he's not in the CFL at the moment, to where he will find a way not if he doesn't have confidence in you, he's not going to use you properly. That's how I feel
Mhm.
like with Ryan Dinwiddie. To where with Ottawa, they have all the tools to be a good football team. It's just, will they put them together? Will they not put them together? I can see a world where they come out of the gates and they struggle, but then they kind of flip the switch at like the end of August where it's like too little too late and they finish with like a 7-11, 8-8, an 8 and
Yeah.
10 record. And it's kind of like, what? All offseason,
I'm
this time next year, we're
I'm
going to be like,
honestly going to
Ottawa,
say
Ottawa.
this.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down a limb and say this. If they are not positive record by week 6, I can honestly say Jake Mayer starting over Drew Brown.
Ryan Dinwiddie really did like Jake Mayer. It's just, and he had a lot of positive things to say about him. It's just, I, the sample size on Jake Mayer still is a little too small to confidently say
No,
that.
but
I
I
can
mean,
definitely
at
see
the
that
same
happening.
time, Drew Brown hasn't really proven himself either.
No, well, I mean, Drew Brown had the chance to, but every time he's had the chance to, he's just, I'd say,
Gotten injured.
he's either gotten injured, he's underperformed. It's just, it hasn't been there to where if Dinwiddie can rewire the Brown robot the right way, who knows how far he can take him. It's just for this year. And also, I feel like Sean Burke's one of the first ever people to have a bad job and get a promotion out of it.
Like I'm surprised this year he didn't go to and snag all the Hamilton free agents. Because usually all the former Hamilton players always go to Ottawa.
I don't know. I think there's just I honestly think with Dinwiddie too, it's kind of like what's going on with Mark Kill. I think it's gonna be like what happened with Edmonton last year, where it's like a mix of 24 and 25, but it's a slow start, but then they get towards the end of the season, it's kind of like, oh, if we had played like this all year long, we'd be in
Yeah,
the
yeah, we could
playoffs.
have been in playoffs.
Yeah. And then you have a Montreal Alouette team who is the defending East Division champs, who I do think, while I think they'll be good, I really think how I said Hamilton's their own worst enemy. Montreal
Yeah.
really can be their own worst enemy because think about it. They were a few plays last year and a fumble away from potentially winning the Grey Cup. And even last year too, getting in a dogfight in the East Division Finals where it came down to the foot of Maltos Diaz, I believe the last name.
Yeah.
To where I want to see with them if Davis Alexander has a bad game, how does he bounce back from it? If he has an interception, will it linger? Like, how does that happen? Because I feel like with Davis Alexander, he is the prototypical quarterback in the sense of when he is great, he is great. But when he gets in his own head, that's where things start to spiral out of control. So that's the thing I'm interested to see with
So
Montreal.
well, here's the thing. So yes, I know the record's on his side. He hasn't lost in a regular season game.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, they play us, then they play Toronto.
Yeah.
There's no way. I do not see them going 2-0 in 2 games.
I definitely think they'll go 1-1. I could see them. Here's how I think it happened, and you're going to hate me for saying this. I can see a world where they beat Hamilton week 1, and then week 2, they host Toronto. They're a massive favorite on the betting line. Toronto either covers the number and keeps it close, or Toronto wins off some fluke shit.
I mean, that's true.
Where
Like, I just want to see us like open the season with like a win. Like, why couldn't they give us like Edmonton or like Ottawa or something?
I don't make the schedule. I don't know. I don't even know who makes the schedule. I know like the NFL, it's made into a big deal of like Mike North, who's the VP of broadcasting, because obviously with that they've played in the networks. But this one is just like, hey, what's TSN? What's CTV?
Yeah.
And then that's all I have with Montreal. Like I went into it last night with Cliff Pine of the Alouette Flight Deck. Go listen to that episode if you want. But with Winnipeg though,
Yeah.
and I hate using this example because I love dogs, but they really feel like a dog, like a very old dog. Where it's like it's starting to slow down. You can see the gray like fur forming around the eyes and the nose. Like they don't run as fast as they once did.
Yeah, because they got
I
all the
still
old people.
Yeah, like they'll still be good, but I think their Grey Cup window's closed. I think that like they had, the 3 years in a row of losing, the 2 to Toronto, the 1 to Montreal, and then last year they'll still be a good team. I I just think that there's a
I
lot better in the
honestly
league, especially
do
in their own
not
division.
think. I honestly don't think Tommy Condell does anything good for them.
I really think that there's a world where they're either average or it just falls apart and they're terrible. I think it's one of the two. Where it's like they either
I,
finish like 9-9 or they're 4-14. Just like Toronto last year, where injuries happen, it just kind of all falls apart. And for as good as he was at Laurier, I don't think Taylor Elgersma comes in right away, considering he hasn't really played. He didn't really play that much football last year. He only got a cup of coffee with the Green Bay Packers. To where
yeah.
if he were to start games, I feel like he could come in and light the world on fire. I just think it might take a little bit of time, just because he hasn't played meaningful football in so long. So it's interesting to see with Winnipeg, but I'm really just in that mindset of I think that Mike O'Shea's loyalty is his own worst enemy at this point.
Yeah. I don't think that Zach Claros will have one of those big years.
Yeah.
Like, I think it'll be like last year, he had like 15 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, like a 50-50 year. You don't have Strevler anymore to run, so now it's basically Zach Claros or nothing because no one else has CFL experience. I mean,
They
Wilson
still
has
do
a
have
little
Brady
bit of.
Oliveira and Trey Vavel though, and then they drafted the other kid. What was his name? The one that filled in for Brady last year and just exploded in those 2 games against BC.
Oh, Mike Van Eyck or
No. There's someone else.
not Matthew Peters because he came over from us.
No. He was like drafted. He was a draft. It was like a draft pick. It sucks
Chris
when
Van Eyck, Chris Eyck or whatever his name is.
if I,
He's a fullback.
I don't think he was a fullback. I think Matthew Peterson. That's it.
Yeah, he came over in the Kyle Samsonov trade with
Yeah,
us.
yeah. So that's just my thing with Winnipeg. That it's just not now or never. It kind of seems like that. It's like kind of hanging on by a thread, where it's like eventually they're gonna have to just. I don't think O'Shea will leave, but I think eventually they're gonna have to like go in a different direction.
Or he'll just retire.
Or he'll do the thing where he quietly just kind of goes more into football ops and someone else comes in and takes over. Like maybe they give the keys to Jordan Younger or they bring in another
my question to you is, since you gave Toronto 6,
yep.
Do you see another West crossover or do you see 3 East teams?
Honestly, I think we see 3 East teams this year. Unless Toronto and Ottawa are truly terrible again, I think we see 3 East.
It all depends on what Winnipeg and Calgary and Edmonton do.
Yes. So with Calgary I kind of view in the same limelight I view Hamilton, where I'm like, I think they're good. I don't think they'll get to the Grey Cup good. And I think Hamilton can still get to the Grey Cup. I think Hamilton's like here, Calgary's here. I just feel like Calgary will have a fighting chance. I think that there's just 2 teams that are very much better than them in the West that have a better chance.
So my thing is with the West is, with as much as Saskatchewan lost, I don't think that they've recouped enough on their defense. I'll give it to them for their offense. I just don't think on their defense.
I still feel like they're the team, though, where even though Trevor Harris is older, and obviously they have Curtis Rourke, but Curtis Rourke's still at the San Francisco 49ers, I still feel like they have enough to remain the same team that they were last year. I feel like the defense might falter a little bit, but I feel like the offense, as long as Trevor Harris still plays at the same level he did last year, I feel like they'll be okay.
Just because, I don't think, that they brought in enough to cover A.J. Allen. Mike Carney's gone.
Yeah.
They brought back most of them, but not. But I mean, who's to say what rookie steps up to? So it's still.
That's the thing too, and they're also very well. Corey Mace is a great coach too, where he'll have them ready to go, and he'll face off with everything. I still so just for ranking purposes, I gave Winnipeg a 6, I gave Calgary a 7, and I have Sask at a 9. By the way. They get the crown too because they are the defending champions. Because they didn't get they lost a lot of pieces, but they didn't get purged like we saw with the Argonauts last year. Going into last year, the Toronto Argonauts truly lost a lot of pieces. They didn't do the right jobs to replace them. Meanwhile, with Sask, I feel like Jeremy O'Day did a good job replacing some talent.
True. I think if because of how well Bo did the last 2 years, I honestly think this is going to be the year he wins the MOP.
I could see that. I also think Davis Alexander at plus 700 is a very good bet to make as well for that.
Because you have Lawler, you have Keandre.
Yep.
You have Curley.
Yep.
You have Wheatfall, and then you have Bridges.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying all 3 out of those 5 could potentially end up with 1,000-yard season.
Oh, absolutely. I think though it's pretty much a lot of the times with MVP too. It's a lot of who wins the division and who does well, unless it's a popularity contest.
So I'll be straight up and honest with you. The only reason why Nathan Rourke won last year, Canadian, and he's a CFL punching bag poster boy, and he had more rushing touchdowns than Bo did. If it wasn't for those rushing touchdowns, he wouldn't have won MOP.
Yep. Yeah, and then my thing too, I remember I think you and I talked about this in 2024 where I viewed it as had Hamilton have made the playoffs, I think he would have won, but the fact that Brady was the main reason Winnipeg got to the playoffs and got the number 1 seed after their terrible start, that's the reason why I leaned Brady Oliveira in 2024. But Bo very much could win it. It's just from a betting standpoint. I really like Davis Alexander, especially if he continues his upward trajectory and is the main reason why the Alouettes are so good. I feel like it's really a 3-horse race for MOP.
True.
Yeah. Unless Vernon Adams bounces back, because obviously he just signed that nice contract extension today with Calgary, to where, like I said, with Calgary, like I think they're good. It's just Calgary had some moments last year where it was like they had the game against they were playing and it was against BC in Calgary, and they basically BC fed them their lunch, and we all know Vernon Adams for some reason. I think he's not, when the weather gets colder, he seems to play not as well. It's obviously not like a two of a thing in the NFL, but how does Vernon play in, like, late September or October, and if he gets to November? That's what I want to see out of VA in 2026, especially too.
Yeah.
That is a team that lost a lot of talent to the NFL. Damon Alford, hit Hutchings. I believe there's someone else in there as
Didn't
well.
Hutchins get released?
He may have. I'm not too sure, but I know they
I
lost.
remember someone that went down to the NFL on defense got released. Don't forget Bagleton's back this year.
That was like one of my first big reporter moments that went viral last year when I took a photo of him on crutches because he hurt himself in the game against Toronto week 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll always remember that one. And then I'll go to Edmonton quickly and say I'm a 6 on Edmonton, just because like I think it's literally like shit or get off the pot with me with them. It's either, hey,
Yeah.
when are you going to be good? We're waiting for you to be good. The fans aren't that confident just because every year it's the same thing. It's like, all right, time to take your medicine. I really think it's like Hamilton though, where they have to get off to a positive start. I don't know how I'll pull up their schedule because I'm not sure how many games they play in the month of June, but they can't afford a weak start again. They simply cannot.
They go Ottawa by Montreal, Winnipeg.
That's at
And then
Ottawa.
D.
That is at Ottawa. And then they have a bye week, Montreal, Winnipeg thing. So they play BC and Ottawa before they play Sask and Calgary.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a very
Like
weird
this.
scheduling quirk. They play, yeah, and then they don't play the Ticats. They don't play the Ticats till week 17,
Mm-hmm.
and then they play them again week 19.
Yep.
Their schedule is some quirks with the CFL schedule.
So at
weird.
least, Griff, at least we know Edmonton or Ottawa's winning week 1.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
either going to be Dinwiddie or it's going to be Killam.
Yeah.
That finally get that over the hurdle in week 1.
But that's the thing, though, I like about it is the fact that whoever wins that game week 1, they can really take that and use it and propel themselves going forward. Because Dinwiddie has a big matchup because week 3, the Argonauts come to town on June 20th.
Yeah,
Just saying.
And then Edmonton plays Montreal in week 3, and then Ottawa plays Montreal in week 4. So,
and Montreal has given it to them a lot over the last few years.
yes, sir.
And then with BC, BC I view in the same limelight as Montreal, where they are their own worst enemy. To where if Nathan Rourke, they're going to be fine. I'm more interested to see what they do on defense.
Yes.
That's my big interest with the BC Lions. How is their defense? Because, like, remember, did you go to the exhibition game last year for the Argonauts?
Yeah, I have seasons with Toronto.
Oh, yeah, I think you've told me that. I'll have to get used to that again. But I remember with that game, the Toronto Argonauts and Nick Arbuckle hung 52 points on that defense when BC was supposed to come in and take care of business.
Yes, I remember that.
So that's the thing with BC is just like they have the little things on offense that they have to be well, and then on defense it's just you just need, like, even the game last year in Hamilton as well. Like, not in Hamilton, when Hamilton went to BC, that Sunday night game, that was just a outrageous game.
Is that where what's his name made that like ridiculous one-armed catch for the interception?
He had that, and I think O'Leary Orange had a big touchdown in that game as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know which one you're talking about now.
Is he still in Hamilton, by the way, or where's he now?
Larry Orange is in Edmonton.
Oh, yes. Oh, fun thing with Edmonton too.
Edmonton poached all of the Hamilton Ticat players this year,
and Austin Mack.
Yeah, because they got 3 offensive linemen, a quarterback, and a wide receiver just from Hamilton. Because like, oh, Hamilton's offensive line did very well last year. Let's just go and poach their whole offensive line.
Yeah, and then like I said too with BC, it's just I'm also interested to see though too who's gonna open up who BC's home opener. Who's gonna be the opening act?
Ooh, I don't even think that they've even announced it yet.
I don't think they have to because their home opener I think is July 27th against the Argonauts if I'm not mistaken, or like July 25th, one of the 2 days. Because I know Toronto
July
plays
25th.
yeah because Toronto plays at BC, then they have the bye week, and then they play Calgary, Edmonton, Hamilton, Sask, and then the Labor Day Classic before the
No, it
quadruple.
goes Calgary, Edmonton. Yeah, Edmonton by Edmonton, Toronto in week 8.
Oh, you're
They
looking
play
at BC's
Sask
schedule.
in week 2.
I was, which is still blasphemy to me that the Rough Riders don't like. It's like the same thing last year too. Like Toronto played on the road to open the year, and Sask this year is not playing at all week 1. I don't get why they're waiting until week 2 to honor the Grey Cup champions. That should be a week 1 thing all the time.
You should have Sask playing friggin' Montreal week 1.
I I do and I don't like that idea. I feel like it should be a fresh matchup. I feel like it should be more like the Sask BC matchup. Like do the division final from the year prior.
True.
Because that way, instead of just the Grey Cup rematch, like people now they have to. I mean, I would wait for it, but I don't think they should have made them wait till October for those rematches to happen, because both games are in October and the same, like within 6 days of each other. But no,
Yeah.
the schedule I was reaming off was Toronto's after BC. They have the bye week. They have versus Calgary. That's their home opener with the all you can eat. Then they go to
Okay.
Edmonton, Hamilton for the X game, which I feel like that game could probably, hopefully, get to close to 20.
Yeah, that's the only thing that, from with what I've heard from Argo fans, is they like to tailgate with Ticats fans, and Ticats fans won't be able to tailgate because of the X this year. So, I mean, it is what it is.
I know, but for people from Hamilton that go to the X every year, you have that added incentive now of, hey, we can go to the X and we get to see the Tabbies play too. It's kind of killing two
True.
birds. It's a two birds one stone effect.
True.
Yeah, and then they play at Sask Labor Day before the game where Hamilton's not included in the quadruple header,
Yes.
which I personally love because that week for a few reasons. The first, Wednesday night is NFL kickoff with Seattle. Thursday night's the
The
Australia
September
game.
12th week?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Wednesday night. So you have Labor Day Monday is CFL Labor Day Monday. Toronto, Hamilton,
Yeah.
Edmonton, Calgary.
Yeah.
Tuesday there's nothing. It's kind of that nice little break. Although I'll probably be podcasting like a crazy man because I need to get my CFL and my NFL content out as well.
Yep.
Wednesday night, the Seattle Seahawks start the season off raising their Super Bowl banner.
Weird that they're doing it on a Wednesday.
Because Thursday night is Rams 49ers from Melbourne, Australia.
Fair enough.
Friday night, there's going to be college football on if that's your forte. And then Saturday, you get a full day of college and you get a full day of CFL from 1 p.m. all the way till 1 in the
To
morning.
midnight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
That's why I'm not going to that Toronto game.
you're just going to stay home on the couch and just...
I'm just going to stay at home, do watch alongs the whole day, and just put my feet up. Hamilton's on a bye week, and yeah, just sit back and relax.
That is the Frosh game for Toronto. I just love it because from someone who lives about an hour and a half away from Toronto, that game at 1 o'clock in the morning, yeah, I'm going to have to leave here by like 8:39 in the morning.
Afternoon?
I'm going to have to leave. Yeah, it's 1. The Toronto's the first game of the day at 1.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to leave here early, but I'll be home before the sun goes down. I love that. Like when the 3 o'clock games happen, I'm not usually back here until 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But there's only 3 night games this year. There's 3 day. And then the game I'm most looking forward to on Toronto's schedule either is the WWE game, because obviously I'm a massive WWE fan, and
So
the
when
Looney
I-
Dog game at the end of the year where I
Yes.
probably will eat an absurd amount of hot dogs.
So my thing about the whole WWE thing is they're gonna bring Ethan Page. They're gonna bring what the heck is their name? What that other Canadian female?
Chelsea Green?
Yes, and Natalie. They'll bring those three just to do some type of.
It won't be much, but it's kind of cool to do it too because you can and the fact too that MLSC in November announces massive partnership with WWE.
So
I was just my thing with that is I was shocked it wasn't the Ticats game. I know it's a CNE game, but WWE SmackDown is at Scotiabank Arena on August 21st.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I haven't got tickets for yet. Pre-sale was today, but I probably will be at that show.
I was just looking at our schedule. I don't even think we have. I mean, besides preseason and the first two Thursday games, like we do not have a 10 o'clock game.
Yeah, I think Toronto's latest game is. I know Toronto has a few 1 o'clock and they have a bunch of 3 o'clocks on Saturdays, home and road. But with Toronto, their latest game they kick off is they have they have two 9 o'clock kicks, they have an 8 o'clock kick, and they have an 8:30 kick.
Yeah. 8:30 is our latest, and then the rest of them are all 7, 7:30 or sooner.
Yeah, all ours are 7, 7:30, 3 o'clock, 2:30, 1 o'clock, 3, 7, 7. They're all perfect timing.
I just like the fact that the first two games are on Thursdays, then we don't have to deal with Thursdays anymore.
Yeah, I really like when Toronto plays on a Thursday or Friday game because then I can just watch the game or go to the game, get my article done, and then I'm on my way. Because when it is on a Saturday, it kind of takes up some time and just everything like that. Not in a bad way, just in the way of like, hey, I have to like sacrifice some time on a Saturday to like watch the game, get the article done. But then the fact that it's an afternoon, though, I can then go out and enjoy my night and then do everything else. Or if it's on Saturday night, I can wake up Sunday morning and just bang out the article.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But all in all, by the way, my number for BC was an 8, just because it's the same thing as Montreal, where I feel like,
I could honestly see Montreal, Hamilton, BC, Sask in the top 4 again.
I could definitely see that too, unless Calgary or Edmonton really have a historic rise, and then I think that there'll be the threat of the crossover, but I don't think it happens 2 years in a row.
I mean, if it does, then, Toronto fans will not be happy.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there because in 28 days from today, the CFL season will get underway when my friend and guest, Rick Boccaccio, will be Boccaccio, excuse me, Rick Boccaccio. Mr. Boccaccio.
And don't forget, Griff,
mm-hmm.
CFL is not the only Hamilton-Toronto rivalry now.
No.
We also have the AHL.
Yes.
And I'm sure you guys, Toronto has a PWHL team too, no?
Yeah, the Scepters.
Yeah. It was just announced today that Hamilton's gotten one too, so now we have 3 sports to be rivals in with now.
With the PWHL, is that going to be for 26, 27 as well, or is that going to be for...
I don't know. They just announced Detroit and Hamilton as the 2 expansion teams. I don't know when Hamilton's getting one, but...
True.
So, May 21st, we find out the team logo and name for the AHL team.
Yes.
They are actually... New York Islanders are forking out a shit ton of money just to have the Harry Howells Arena in Flamborough as their practice rink.
Yes, I saw that.
So they're getting rink time from 7 a.m. till noon at that stadium, and then they come to TD Coliseum. So they're only opening Lower Bowl, and the season tickets, now that some of them have been announced, are $200 cheap or $200 more than Toronto, but if you get individual seats, they're $5 more than the Marlies individual seats.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the two work out. I want to go to TD Coliseum for a concert. I'm just waiting for the right act or the right act with the right price tag. But I definitely may
Yeah.
have to come down to Hamilton and check out an AHL game come some October, November.
Well, yours truly is getting 2 season tickets, so if you want to come to a game,
I'll have
you
to
know
take
who to
up
hit up.
Mr. Say it for me one more time so I don't screw it up again.
Boccaccio.
Mr. Boccaccio, I'll definitely have to take you up on that offer. I'll have to be in touch about that. But folks, we are 429 of these episodes in the bag. 430 will be out next week. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know who it's going to be with. I don't know if it's CFL, NFL. You're just going to have to wait and listen to find out. But if you like this, please subscribe. Please tell a friend. Let's grow this audience as the CFL season keeps rolling on. Anything else to add before we head out?
No, sir. Training camp starts Sunday. Rookie camp cuts Saturday night, so I'll be waiting up for those at midnight when they come out.
28 days away. We can't wait. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. Tell a friend.